Okay, go. Alright, guys, we got the chat bans, posted them at the bottom of the overlay there. Zyra, Cassidy, Jace, and Kha'Zix have been taken out and into the champion select.
That first ban's gonna be Wukong, second one's gonna be Nidalee. Wukong, good engage, has an airborne, armor reduction. Nidalee has probably the best poke in this game mode. Plus she brings sustain to her team.
And Maokai banned again. We saw him. I want to say we saw him banned in the first game. Right? I think they banned him in the first game.
Yep.
But Maokai he's just played so much. And you don't see him banned too much. So I like to see him banned out because I think he's really, really strong. And you don't tend to spec a Morellonomicon or an Executioners just to deal with the Sap Magic passive that he has, but he still heals for a ton.
And we're seeing Teemo and Urgot banned. Urgot does a lot of damage. She's good bottom lane or top lane. You saw how frightening he can be a little bit last game. And Teemo brings a lot of magic damage to the table. He's a quick champion. And Janna. Janna's one of the strongest support characters in this game mode. Highly disruptive character. This
We
does
saw her.
leave open... Who's left open here?
Casson is not.
Well, no. He
Casson
got
was
chat
banned.
banned. Who are we not seeing here?
Annie Brand are open. Jarvan is open.
Yeah,
Kale is
J4.
open.
J4, Kale. Both open. At least Yorick. We probably won't see Yorick, though. Yorick hasn't been picked or banned too often these days.
Zyra is not open. Zyra was banned at the in the first chat ban. So that's the kill locked in. So that's a kill because they want to kill, and it's also a kill to steal kill away from Baby.
Don't let Baby have Kale. Or maybe ban Kale. Kale's frightening late game. The longer the game goes on, the more likely it's just to kill everyone on your team.
And you want to know who else is frightening? Pantheon is frightening.
Nah.
Now,
I have no fear of Pantheon on any champion that I play. Pantheon, if Pantheon catches you at a bad time, he will wreck you, but it's easy to mitigate because his Aegis range is really short. Just only put the person that you want to get hit in stun range. Just to be really aware of your positioning against him, have him Aegis the wrong target, and then destroy him.
but Annie was also available. And if neither Brand nor Annie is picked here by Sofanda's Bear Tibbers, then you know what we might get to see.
You're right.
And neither Annie nor Brand was picked. They did go for Remus. Remus not seen too often, but when he is seen, he
We won't
has
see Brand.
fantastic. We won't see Brand.
No. I
Okay.
mean, we might get... Well, no, if they throw Pantheon to Parkhurst, and Peoples picked up Brand... No, Peoples pick up J4. So yeah, we're going to see an ADC in J4 if they were going to go that route. We wouldn't see Brand because there's not another spot for Brand in that comp. Yeah, there's Lucian. So that's their ADC. So they want to go for the... I mean, J4 would be good for Heartseeker Strike or for Annie.
Or they could just go for two completely different things and pick up a carry and a support here.
Oh, that
wanna say we
Alistar
saw-
is not a support. No, you haven't seen. Oh my. You guys in the Twitch chat, if this is what I think it is, this could be absolutely frightening. I don't know if you guys were around for Day of Dominion, but High People's Alistar is an entirely different level and concept. You have...
So is it an AP Alistar or is it a tank Iceborne Gauntlet Alistar?
No, this guy is like the end of the world Alistar with AP. Like, it's...
Right.
I can't even explain it. This is like Sheen first into DFG, headbutt DFG combo, whoever the AP is with him blows them up. And then he has AP in an AoE with a Sheen, so he's auto-attacking people like crazy.
Alright. Sounds good.
he gets like he's an AP carry, man. Sifu's got it right in the chat. Like just that game. Oh, that game.
And if they do pick up, if he does pick up the a BFT, as long as he doesn't stack it onto the same person as Half-Hearted did, if they use their DFGs at the same time, but on different people, their BFTs, excuse me, on at the same time but on different people, and then together they combo all of that AoE damage, that's gonna be scary.
We probably won't see Annie pick up a BFT. He's just gonna stack pen because pen is the only items in this game.
Pen is pretty strong.
It's all you buy. I was playing a couple different champions and I'm like, wait a minute, you only buy pen. You can skip one pen item, I think. If you want to be like more tanky, you replace your Yomus with an item that's not pen. If you want to be more damagey, you replace your Black Cleaver with an item that's not pen, and someone else on the team is going to still get the Black Cleaver to compensate for you not having it.
Alright, and it is going to be a Mumu, not a Poppy there as last pick. Didn't expect the Poppy. I remember when Dominion
What?
first came
People's
out.
bottom?
I don't know. It could be.
Wolfer is usually the bottom for that team, but People's AP alley bot, do they even know how to deal with that? If that's Nick's bottom, that Cassiopeia is going to die horribly. This is bad. You have mod Ryan.
He won't be able to. He won't be able to compete with the wave clear from Nyx at the very beginning of the game, but AP Alistar does get to the point of being able to pretty much destroy everyone.
Cassiopeia is gonna die, and Baby Pop is gonna true silver people up top, or he's gonna silver bolt proc people up top. I'm scared. Golly needs to taunt BB, but he's gonna get ageist in front of by a Parkhurst and accidentally airboard him instead. Get body blocked by Tibbers. Generic shots are gonna get interrupted by Tibbers. I'm scared. North Paw Kale can run the show though.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Dude,
It's
I'm
been a long time
horrified of
since
this
I saw AP
Alistar.
Alistar.
Like, I can't express that enough.
He broke the fourth wall and he's gonna start attacking us. Oh no!
Dude,
What
you
are we
guys
going
haven't
to do?
seen, man. He's gonna headbutt my condo. It's gonna tip over.
How big is Alistar? Is he like human size or like twice the size of a human?
Have you
or
seen him
like
stand next to Cat? He's like 4 cats.
4 cats? But Cat's like all crouched over, so I think 4 cats is like.
Well, it's not her fault she has bad posture, but neither does Alistar.
That's true.
He doesn't have good either, so.
So they actually have a ton of AoE. Because when you consider that Pulverize is actually going to be a burst, they have Curse of the Sad Mummy, they have Pulverize, they have Tibbers, they have Incinerate, they have Heartseeker Strike, and then Baby on Vein is like, well, I do a lot of single target damage, guys, but the single target damage for Cassiopeia is going to be pretty important.
Peoples, this show is sold out. I bought 47 tickets myself, alright? Guys, this is literally the hype train. No, I'll comp yours, people. People's, yours is comped, man. Don't even worry about it, dude. I'm just frightened because if he's gonna actually do Ali bot, he will destroy a Cassiopeia. This is not gonna be fair. I wish I had that VOD to link to you guys already, because holy cow, he went 22-2 on Alistar once. Like, in a game with actual people.
Yeah, that sounds pretty terror.
Like, in a game with this quality level of players, he went 22-2 as bot alley.
As bottom lane.
Yeah, as bottom lane, he went 22-2. He killed his lane opponent so often he could basically leave whenever he liked. He would walk across, kill his lane opponent, leave, kill everything in the top lane, recall, go back to bottom. It was horrifying.
Yeah, and he does also have the unbreakable will to deal with the Rammus taunt. So generally, Rammus taunt is sort of like a death sentence not a literal death sentence in that Thresh Q, but a death sentence in that you're gonna die because you just got taunted. So Baby on Vayne generally runs Flash. This game he actually opted to take Cleanse just to be able to deal with that Rammus. So the Rammus pick already, before even getting into the game, has already forced Bebe to not have the Flash that he really favors on AD carry. On the other hand, Alistar is a fantastic pick against Rammus because suddenly, if he's really just an AP carry, your AP carry can't get taunted.
Kaiseresk, I raised the question. When you watch 400 games and something that's non-standard happens, do you not get excited? Because I'm excited. This is not something that we see. This is very unusual to see in a team. Wolfer plays bottom lane champions and he's using an Amumu. You don't bottom lane with Amumu. What? So that means he's gonna top, which means Peoples is gonna bottom. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Oh no, did my stream do the freezing thing? Okay, it didn't do the freezing thing. Alright, we're good. We're good.
Nyx is bottom Cassiopeia because it's Nyx. That's how I knew that. You can't milk high Peoples.
Oh no, I hadn't closed my browser. Alright, I closed my browser now. So we should be good. I just want to check. For me, it says 31, 32, 33, 34. No, I know it's the same for you. I want to make sure it's the same for viewers.
Okay.
Because I had not closed my browser. And my stream lags when I don't close browser. And sometimes it gets desynced a little bit.
Alright.
So,
let's talk about something else that's going on. Kaiser's a cool guy.
well, it's actually really important that someone
salty.
says whether we were synced or not.
Top lane. We again have... We have 3 really squishy people up here with only Rammus to defend them. They're going to be really focused on being able to burst people down because there's no survivability up there outside of Rammus. This also means they are exceptionally vulnerable to AoE from Annie, which could turn them all into a fine pink mist if they're struck correctly. So you have to be careful of that. Now, if they stay spread out, that can mitigate Annie's damage, but whoever Vayne can connect with could get destroyed. Just pause.
Alright, so
There's not a pause.
Very brief pause there. I'm not sure if they actually wanted to pause or not, but we're on to the Rift. We forgot to enter the teams, but over on the left-hand side, we have Sofanda's Tibbers currently down 1-0 to Clueless. And will blue side be enough of an advantage for them to bring it back up to 1-1? Bring us to game 3. Or will Clueless be able to close it out 2-0? Clueless closes it out 2-0 pretty frequently. But the first game was very, very close.
Oh dear. 2 stuns on Golly. Golly getting shot down pretty quickly.
Yeah, importantly, no Silver Bolts proc there, and he had his Spike Shell on, or he had his defensive ball curl. Spike Shell is passive. Can he get the taunt? He gets the taunt onto Half-Hearted, but it doesn't even matter. Half-Hearted, of course, the best person to taunt. Talon does pick up that kill, but it's 3-2 right now. A double kill for Baby. That is not who you want to be feeding kills to. Ideally, you don't want to be feeding kills to anyone, but if it's someone, you don't want it to be a Vayne. And that's actually a triple kill after Ezreal Arcane shifted over. So we see the focus of Golly now going to ball lane instead. And now my mic isn't muted. People's taking a lot of damage from Nyx. Golly is here also. Triumphant Roar will heal an AP Alistar for a lot, but before he has Unbreakable Will, Rammus can taunt him just the way he can taunt anyone else.
Yeah, pre-6th Alistar is a little bit squishy. He is back with the revive right away. Plows right into the minion wave, airborne on that. And once he gets a little bit of AP, he'll be able to clear waves very, very effectively.
Alright, there's the engage onto Talon here. But no stun out of Annie means that they're not going to keep it up after he backs out a little bit. And at this point, team's just posturing in the center of the map. This is what we see so much. And the taunt does land onto Baby though, but the taunt is actually not so bad against Vayne because she just wants to be doing damage with her Silver Ropes proc, and it doesn't actually slow the attack speed, it just reduces damage, and you can't reduce true damage. Northpaw gonna get focused down, still wasn't level 6, didn't have the intervention yet. Rammus goes down also, and that actually just makes Vayne so good against Rammus.
Great bandage toss from Wolfer. Picks up Talon, no problem. Northpaw back with the revive, hopefully to deter them from that point. Generic having to retreat, very, very low on health at the moment, and doesn't have that arcane shift for a little while. They are able to secure the KB on him.
Yeah, and between Annie and Vayne, you don't really care who picks the kills. Both of them are going to become terrifying hyper carries in late game. Petrifying Gaze lands on Baby, but he has the cleanse, condemn into the wall, and he's potting. He is not going to die to the poison.
Uh-oh, I don't like that.
But
Coming
he might
down.
die to the gank. Needs to get a condemn off.
Nope,
And
Golly couldn't get through
just,
the minions.
Yeah, minion
So
block OP.
Been a really good response from Sofanda. They've been backing up Cassiopeia a lot, and that's really good for them, as they want to make sure that High Peoples can't get rolling here. And High Peoples is now kiting Armed Weasel completely away from anything, bringing him to his allies. Armed Weasel is like, hey, wait a minute, that's a bad idea. Decides to turn around and leave.
And Rammus actually goes down to Baby there. The arcane shift comes from Generic, getting a little bit of damage as he kites backwards, but he doesn't have a phage. He actually only has an Amtome right now. One more auto attack will be a death.
He wanted that arcane shift over the wall, I think, and didn't get it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
A little bit unfortunate there. People's hungers for Cassiopeia. But throws down his airborne, seemingly for no reason there. Exhaust on BB.
He gets the condemn, does get the Silver Bolts proc, needs another auto attack though, and can't get that. Meanwhile, Pantheon against Golly, and Parkhurst is not able to really win this right now. Amumu is actually going down towards the bot lane to put a little bit of pressure on the point, but gonna go ahead roam up instead. His team needs his help, and he's here. Did not use the Tibbers, but it was a good arcane shift anyway because she could have used Tibbers except for how it was on cooldown.
And Generic being chased once again. There's the Banish Toss. He just takes damage so easily. There's the taunt on Wolferer. And Annie's able to put some hurt on Golly in the process. Actually able to pick up that KB with an auto attack.
Unfortunately, didn't get mana back from the Disintegrate because it was Q and then auto attack instead of auto attack and then Q. But you really don't care about that. So, a nice kill pickup from Annie. And Northpaw using the intervention, but intervention does not mean that you're immune to CC. And so Mumu does manage to get the snare, and they're going to be able to recapture the windmill.
In the lower part of the map, people's actually been spending a little bit too much time in the miasma when it gets thrown down. And that's been kind of hurting him a little bit. Alistar is a bit of a slower champion, and it seems like every time I look down here, he's walking through it. That may be for having a lack of headbutt targets, so he's not able to escape it via that method.
Yeah, Cassiopeia does a pretty decent job against melee champions because she has the miasma slow, and then on top of that, when she's near someone, she gets her E's non-stop.
And Parkhurst is going to be taken down, and he retreats to the tower.
So one got caught out, but Amumu trying to go in for a little bit of revenge, does not have his ult for over a minute still. Armed Weasel does have his, is choosing not to use it. There he goes.
Oh, that bandage toss! He's had the vision revealed to him by Peoples, so he knew that Golly was coming from that direction. Great. Bandage toss is back into the fight for some stun on Nyx. Alistar can't quite reach him. Golly is going to be defeated by Annie. Almost crashed into Tibbers, but not quite.
And they should be able to pick up at least one, if not two. It doesn't quite have the headbutt combo cooldown back. But the revive came out from Talon, and Halfheart are going to get focused down the ring.
Ooh, kicking Northpaw away from the entrance was a very good play. Forces the invulnerable out of Northpaw. However, its cooldown is shorter and is pretty short overall. So should get that back pretty soon.
And unfortunately, the Q wasn't available there for Alistar, and so he couldn't actually get the WQ combo, having to contend himself with the W, and that wasn't enough to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, though, Bebe gets taunted, cleanses it immediately, and picks up the double kill there.
And BB, a little bit away from his ally, takes a lot of damage from Arm Weasel. Parkhurst goes in with the stun, and is delaying a little bit longer. They are going to get their tower back, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, so this is twice now that one of the quest objective towers has gotten neutralized and then recapped by the same team. So Sofanda still doesn't need to worry about the refinery getting taken for a little while. Pretty hard to advance all the way onto that point. Nyx, though, getting taken down pretty low by Wolfer, but he gets all that extra move speed whenever his Q's hit.
Oh dear!
No!
High Peoples kicked Talon to safety.
Wolfer actually gonna Q to get away, and that Petrifying Gaze actually might have saved her life.
Nyx low on health, can't really approach for risk of taking a spear shot or any ability in the game at all. And a Parkhurst, oh dear, gets picked up, taunted by Golly. Defensive ball curl is up, North Paw. Puts a little bit of auto attack on him in the process. Rammus with the Storm Shield is pretty dangerous when it comes to tanks.
Yeah. Rammus in general has a ton of armor, a good amount of damage from that armor. But again, Vayne as an AD carry is more concerned with true damage. And when she's getting heals that size from her Alistar, she's pretty happy. Final Hour is available now. Pops that, and Baby just healing for so much right now. But they don't have vision into the bush, and they don't have any reveal item. So Peoples is going to go down, but Baby picks up the revenge.
And Alistar now with the sweeper means they can't play bush games like that against him, having just completed that item.
Alright, stun onto generic. Bandage toss just out of range, and the intervention actually comes down to Pantheon jumping in. And Parkhurst secures that. But this time the bandage toss was basically max range there. Golly coming in, gets the taunt actually onto Parkhurst instead of to Annie. But Armed Weasel is coming in. Another fantastic bandage toss. They have been on point from Wolfer. But Weasel does use the ult. Half-hearted gonna get taken down, so will Pantheon. Bebe is here. Bebe has no peel. Bebe needs to be careful. No peel, no cleanse, no final hour. He's not gonna stay alive, and he knows it.
Yeah, Baby needs to hang out around the edges of the fight at the moment until some of his abilities can get back up. Also, remember guys, Wolfer confirmed also able to top lane. Something to keep in mind if you run into him in an in-house or in a tournament or anywhere else. Peoples in the bottom lane still pushing up pretty aggressively on Nyx, and just look at the damage output that he's starting to get going now.
Unbreakable will pop, and you have to remember that he still has his trample passive. So even when he's not doing damage,
that stun! That stun was
really
insane. I don't know how much of that more Nyx can take before Peoples' ally turns Cass into a non-issue.
And yeah, if you pop the Unbreakable Will early, then you don't have it as the cleanse effect to remove CC. And Golly doing a ton of damage. Parkhurst has to go back and pick up the health, but Tremors is actually going to be enough to get that. I don't think that he can survive BB though, because remember, taunting of Vayne doesn't really do that much. Silverbolt's proc still comes, and Baby picks up the kill, half-hearted to get the other shutdown.
And, oh dear, Nyx, that was a not very fortunate place to be captured at. Curse the Sad Mummy activated. Nyx, Peoples, don't let him get away this time. Come on, man. There you
Nyx
go.
has been surviving with no health so many times, but this time he cannot repeat that performance because High Peoples did have a Sylvia up, so came in, headbutted, killed, and chased down Golly.
And BB has every kills. He's running around with 13 currently on Vayne. 13-3. North Paw stunned over by the tower. Tibbers remote control damage. Tibbers, come on, Tibbers, you're napping. Tibbers, please. Tibbers? Oh. Ah, he escaped. Look at him go. Oh, Annie, why would you do that?
Aw, 50 gold goes over. Half-hearted is so low right now. Needs to be able to get back to base. Golly goes the other direction, gets stunned, but I don't know if that was actually smart by Half-hearted. Okay, looks like he's going to be able to survive. Maybe. Rammus runs really, really fast. Really, 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 really fast.
They want to get control of that tower. Half-Heart has not had an opportunity to recall yet. Pantheon's going to come down into this, but not sure how I feel about that. Golly does not cut the taunt. Turns around instead, goes for BB pop. Doesn't let BB come in from the side. Half-Hearted with a little bit. Oh, dear!
Oh, that was an amazing double kill there by Peoples. And Annie didn't actually die. Managed to get back to the platform. I thought that it was not a good idea by Half-Hearted to stay for that long, but he got the stun off. He peeled for Baby just enough that Baby could survive Talon until Alistar could come up there. Picked up a kill on Rammus. Got a triple kill there. This Alistar is pretty scary.
Has a Lich Bane completed now. Vayne does get kicked out of the top lane. There's no one there to stop that.
But she has survived in 3 seconds.
Is going to use it. Yeah, going to pop that head up. Next health on the other team is getting a little bit low, but doesn't want to take any chances, so hits that revive, starts moving back up towards the upper part of the map, wants to join in this party up here, and Golly's health not present. Bandage toss back in on the North Paw, stun into other stun combo, using that stun time to allow a Parkers to catch up and be able to help clean up. Kale, 4-on-3 in the upper portion of the map. Lower part of the map, Cassiopeia's health got knocked down a little bit, but Peoples doesn't seem like he wants to dive for it at the moment, so action still up here for the moment. Golly, your health. Sometimes I worry about you, man.
I just want to commend really both bot laners for doing such a tremendous job of roaming up top and just helping out their team so much. But they engage. Rammus goes down. Q across from Talon, or E across from Talon, but he's going to go down. Wolfer! I would have flipped out if Wolfer survived that.
Well, maybe we'll have an excuse to flip out later on. Nyx, again, getting beaten up severely and having to leave. However, Kale's appearance means that Peoples is probably going to get a free trip back to the summoner platform. He is going to take Nyx with him, however.
Alistar. Okay, he is. He almost got into the bush in time, but
yeah, he wanted to get in that bush to get another CC combo to help Parkers take him down.
But it's not free if you take someone with you.
No, it's taxed. Oh dear, that
Parkers.
Aegis out still gets hit by the power ball, and everything bad happens to a Parkers at once.
That's a pretty good description of what just happened. He does not have his revive right now. So the game is still going to be 4 versus 5 for the next 20 seconds. And we'll see if they can actually contest this. I think they actually just have to give the Boneyard up, especially because you see Annie over at the other side is trying to go for the Refinery.
Alistar seems less than worried about it, however, as People's Alistar just jumps into the fight immediately. BB and Kale have a disagreement, turns back around to the lower part of the fight. Wolfer is knocked down there. Kale moving up towards the upper part of the map, actually. BB just a little bit too far out of range. Wants to be able to hit somebody, is revealed now, doesn't like that, gets cutthroat for his troubles. Get back, Armed Weasel! You don't know Vayne in that manner. Oh dear.
And top lane, Annie goes down too. So that was overall a 5-0, I want to say, in favor of Sofanda.
Sofanda had a really good turnaround in the last few moments. Started off with a pick off on a Park Curse. They brought 4 people down to bottom. There wasn't a lot of damage to follow up on Ali. Nice swing down there by Wolfer.
And there are 2 important things, I think. The first important thing is that Cassiopeia picked up the Rylai's Scepter, and that's helping her kite so much in these fights. It's absolutely insane. And the second thing is that Alistar didn't have ult in the last fight. He didn't use it until the fight was basically over. The interrupt, oh my god, lived with 5 health.
Oh, half-hearted, man. You, he prayed to RNGesus so that he might survive. BB in the top, not doing so well. Caught out in the middle of the lane. This is a position you don't want to be solo. Pretty much ever.
Tremors does a lot of damage. You cannot underestimate that ult. It may have the worst name in the entire game, but it's still pretty powerful.
I think if they renamed it to Chainsaws, people would take it a lot more seriously. No fear dive on Half-Hearted. And Sofanda, once again, third of the game through, maybe 2/3 of the game, start to bring it back a little bit. Maybe we'll see Sofanda pick this up.
Yeah, 305 to 75 is definitely come back from a bull, although Peoples with that kill on the Talon there, he was basically 1v3, and you see there's so much chunking onto generic every time Alistar shows up.
Pantheon heading down to the lower part of the map. Needs to help clear those minions, has a Heartseeker Strike, can do that. BB is taking control of the drill once again. Taunt on Wolfer. We want to keep that crowd control away from other people. Jumps through for Peoples. Armed Weasel had to put a lot of hurt on him. Peoples pretty squishy.
Red teams capture the drill.
So Bebe does pick up the drill. Meanwhile, Panther actually goes down in bot lane. I think Nyx can duel anyone on the map right now. 1v1.
And Pantheon drops down, decides he's going to go for the opposite tower instead. Ezreal has revealed that he is here. Generic on Ezreal, Pantheon of Parkers. I don't really like Pantheon's odds against Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal's pretty good at kiting and picks that up with the Q there. Has the Trinity Force. And Trinity Force, Last Whisper, Sanguine Blade. That's a pretty strong Ezreal build. 10 kills on him, and he's a little bit really scary.
And Half-Hearted goes down to the bottom to go back to the platform immediately. didn't have the damage, unfortunately, to deal with that because the silence from Armed Weasel kept him from being able to use a stun or anything else, and they were quickly picked up by Ezreal. Pantheon brings a hard stun to a comp, whereas a Nocturne brings a breakable fear to answer someone in the chat.
That
And Wolfer,
kite
oh
on
dear.
Wolfer was insane. The a Cassiopeia with a Rylai's is just like the single scariest thing.
Sure.
It's really scary.
It is pretty frightening. I don't know about single scariest.
And there's just so much kite potential against this Alistar. Like they have a great composition against an Alistar. The Alistar, I admit, is terrifying, but even more terrifying is what they can do to shut him down. You have the Rylai's slow from Cassiopeia, you have the slow from Kael's Reckoning. Ezreal has the Trinity Force, he can self-peel, he can Arcane Shift away. Talon has a silence. Okay, you have the Unbreakable Will on Alistar, so that doesn't matter so much, but you don't want to be using that ult on just a silence.
No, you don't. You want to be saving it for someone. I like how Golly pulls up, stops, just leaves. Like, no, I'm not getting anywhere near that.
There's no way.
He sees it again,
it's too
leaves.
scary.
Nope. There's the CV. He's
scary.
like, where is everyone else?
Where's my team? Why don't I have any friends? It's a Mumu. A Mumu's not supposed to have friends.
Mumu's gonna find a friend if Golly keeps hanging out over here. Tibbers expires because he has passed his expiration date. He was kept out on the countertop too long and spoiled. And Clueless heading up
And
towards the upper part of the map.
Can't really survive Talon there.
No. Not able to fight a Talon.
I really would have liked to see him go for a Wiglets to get a little bit, or not even a Wiglets, just Moonflare. Yeah. I think Moonflare would have been really effective on him.
Oh dear, Halfhard throws down a stun on Golly.
Or honestly, even a Rylai's, just to get extra health so that his ult means even more.
Nope. Cleaned up by Ezreal. Top push neutral. The minions were getting a lot of capture in on that.
And minions cannot be underestimated.
Wolfer found Northpaw, got stuck in the entire enemy team, unfortunately.
The kill actually used onto Remus there, but it was probably worth it. The Condemned, great stun, great Tibbers from Annie is going to save Baby there, and might actually allow them to turn it after he picks up the health. He doesn't want to get taunted. He used his cleanse just now, doesn't have that anymore. Just kidding.
There we go.
Kidding, they can't turn it. But Pantheon is here, and he gets taunted under turret, and he gets focused down, and he's gonna fall. Parker's exhausted. Parker's is gonna fall, and this is going to be almost a 5 cap.
There's so much kiting going against Clueless in this game.
Yeah.
Again, Nick's taking all of the damage and having to retreat. But due to ganking that had gone on earlier in the game, Peoples doesn't quite have a significant enough lead to stalk her down, and the addition of that Riley's to the build makes it easier for her to escape. But you can just look at how threatening he is to Cassiopeia. If Cassiopeia gets headbutted into a wall, she's probably going to be defeated if that occurs.
Red team has captured the drone.
Now, there's been a lot of bandage toss onto Kael, but I think it's Talon that needs to get locked down.
Yeah. That's pretty true. Talon and Ezreal are probably the scariest two, and Talon is the easier to lock down of those two. There's a stun onto Talon from Half-Hearted. Bebe might actually be able to... No, my god! I was going to say make something out of this and save Annie, but Annie is just a little bit too squishy. He does get the shutdown onto Talon there. Generic trying to get out. There's the Unbreakable Will from Alistar. Just trying to chase as much as he can. And he does manage to get that shutdown.
Peoples nowhere in the bottom lane. Looks like Parker's just going to go down there to bail that out. And oh, dives right into the stun. The Heartseeker strike gets interrupted barely after it starts being channeled, so he loses out on all of that damage.
No one can fight Nyx. No one can come close to fighting Nyx.
True Shot Barrage stops Peoples. And Sofanda wins this team fight. They win the game.
Yeah, and with that taunt there, Bebe's off to the side. No taunt available from Remus. Gets reckoninged by Kael. Amumu went down to Cassiopeia in the bot lane. So Cassiopeia not only took out Amumu, or Alistar, excuse me, but then went on to take out Amumu also. And Bebe is basically 1v4 up here, and he's not going to be able to survive.
Nyx has no health, but he can keep a Parkhurst from picking this tower back up.
Blue team has captured the win.
And Clueless can't cross the map fast enough to get a tower. We're going to go to game 3.
We are going to go to game 3. That's actually really exciting.
Game 3?
I did not expect this to happen, but I'm really excited that Sofanda is actually able to take a game off Clueless. It's 1-1 now, and we're going to game 3.
The response bottom lane from Cassiopeia and the response from the team overall in being able to get people down there and put the hurt on Ali before he get out of control against his lane opponent. Like, you saw some of those times where Cassiopeia just narrowly got away, barely any health left over. And imagine if that had just been without someone ganking, and then Ali had all that extra time alive from there not being a second person attacking him, and being able to actually kill Nyx those 2-3 times and take control of that tower. That would have really changed the flow of the game. But extremely good response from Sofanda to help mitigate that, and their ability to kite up top was intense.
The ability to camp bot lane was also intense.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
They made sure that, like, no, Ali, we've seen what you can do to people with Ali. We're just gonna gank you, and that won't ever get going. So you can't just completely shut down the bottom lane.
Alright, so looking at damage dealt to champions, Talon in the lead. Talon did a ton of damage. I actually probably would have predicted that Vayne or Annie had done a little bit more, but Talon did manage to edge them out. But it was actually really, really even between the two teams.
Graveyard here was Pantheon with 332. One more game, guys. Let's do it.